Have you ever felt like your mind is stuck in a distant memory or a moment of your life you didn't know how to handle? Maybe you've been thinking about the advice or comfort you wish you could have received. In this video, I will teach you how to write an effective and powerful letter to yourself that will help you process emotional wounds and improve your well-being. Let's just start with why you should engage in this practice. And something very important is that writing a letter to yourself is not about just brainstorming everything that's good and nice and pretty and positive and then just dump everything into a piece of paper. And as I mentioned in my previous video about intrusive thoughts, having a lot of compassion and be kind to yourself is going to play a huge role while doing this. By writing these letters, you are providing yourself past acknowledgement, support, and validation that you probably didn't receive at that time. This is a very strong act of self-compassion that impulses self-acceptance and helps to build greater emotional resilience. But you don't need to hear from me. There are many scientific articles about self-compassionate tools, but when we talk about the letter to yourself exercise, there's one in specific that I really like. It truly shows all the benefits for writing a letter to both your past self and your future self. And it's quite recent too. This study, Writing a Letter to Yourself Can Make You Feel Better, was conducted in Japan in 2024, which just shows how relevant this topic still is after decades of being studied. The study used a tool called Adolescent Time Inventory. This is made out of 5 components, and the one they use is called Time Attitude. Don't worry guys, you don't have to worry about the technicisms in all of this. I'm just mentioning this because they use this tool to measure the negative and positive attitudes that they have towards their own past, present, and future. In a nutshell, they found out that those who had a negative attitude towards time were particularly affected by the exercise. Writing to their past selves truly changed the way they confront past struggles with a more compassionate perspective, resulting in emotional relief and shifting towards a more positive way of thinking. On the other hand, writing a letter to your future self can cause a sense of anxiety. These letters usually establish or clarifies what is it that you need to do in order to achieve an academic or career or life goal, which means you're starting to notice the aspects of yourself that are not sufficient for now. And you might be thinking, why would I write a letter to my future self if that's gonna cause anxiety? Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing. While writing to one's past comforts one's feelings, writing to your future self might be useful to induce motivation for self-improvement in the future. This is very cool, right? You have one tool to practice self-compassion and confronting past struggles, but also to establish aspects of yourself to improve and challenge yourself. That's pretty neat in my book. So, how is this helpful for artists? As you might know, it's extremely common that artists of any kind struggles with creative blocks, self-doubt, self-criticism, and many artists also tend to look back to their earlier work with a lot of disappointment. And nowadays it's quite usual to just go online and see how this 8-year-old prodigy just made his first piece of art and it's just an absolute masterwork. This can be very discouraging for a lot of artists, but it doesn't have to be. And writing a letter to yourself can offer a way to counteract this negativity. Doing this exercise where you write a letter to the artist you were 5-10 years ago opens a way to realize how much you have grown and also helps to reflect back on the necessary struggles you lived with in order to think about your progress. You can offer reassurance that their efforts were never wasted, and this kind of self-compassionate reflection is very helpful to break free from being fixed in mistakes made in the past, and instead focus on how much growth there has been. Now, this is where we talk about why I think that artists can especially take this exercise to a whole other level. Painters, cartoonists, musicians, writers, especially writers, this is your jam. Artists love to picture everything in their heads. It's just something that happens. Backgrounds, colors, scenery, music, sounds, letters, emotions, everything. And taking advantage of this is how you can truly unlock a new potential for this exercise. So for this part, I will talk about myself, my own personal experiences doing this exercise and how I approach it. When I'm struggling with a situation from my past, before I start to write me a letter, I first try to build a scene. I don't see my past self as me. I picture myself as another character, and this character has the same emotions, the same experiences and personality. It's me. I just look different. Maybe I'm just a drawing, or maybe I'm just a character from a cartoon I like, or maybe I'm just a square with personality traits like in Thomas Was Alone. Beautiful game, beautiful music, I love it. I think about the background music, I think about the lightning, I think about the overall tone of that scene that I'm trying to work on. And once I have all of that set up in my head, that's when I can start to have my conversation with myself. Keep in mind, I'm not stressing out about any details. I'm not trying to make it perfect in my head. I'm not trying to make a full feature film. And if you struggle with this at the beginning, that's totally okay, because I didn't do this at all when I wrote my first letter, or my second one, or my third one. But as I kept writing more and more letters, it just kinda naturally started to come together. But it took me a long time to make it enjoyable in a way. Now, these are 3 very important points that you can try to include in your letter. First one is gratitude. It can be to show gratitude towards yourself, or maybe someone who was around you during that time. For example, you can write something like this: I know you struggled so much with this, but please know that I'm very thankful with you, because that helped me to grow into the artist that I am today. And remember when our friend told us she liked how you draw the eye on that goofy thing you did at school? I still treasure that moment, and I think we should be thankful to her as well. Second one, self-compassion. As I said in the beginning, self-compassion plays a very important role when writing a letter. Even though you struggle to realize this, I think it's very important to validate now that he was doing the best he could with the knowledge and tools he had at that moment. For example, you can write something like, you are extremely young, there is no need to feel guilty about not knowing how to handle that situation. That actually impulses me to be better in the future, and if it happens again, we won't be hurt the same way. Nice, right? And the third point I'd like you to try is encouragement. Acknowledging the fact that we will get stronger and better with every setback that we struggle with. These particularly will ease your feelings in the present drastically. And you can write something like this: it's absolutely understandable that you might feel fear about what's coming next, but as you can see, I'm still here. That makes me feel reassured, because no matter how hard things get, I know I'm capable of overcoming my struggles, and that's because you taught me that. This pretty much reassures you that no matter what, you will be alright. I'm sure that following these examples or implementing these 3 points into your letter will bring you a lot of emotional relief. And on the side note, it's very important to keep in mind that when there are no negative emotions in the present, this isn't actually gonna improve your mood. As mentioned in the article we talked about earlier, this exercise will be most effective when you have negative emotions and need to relieve emotional distress. Now, I like to share a letter I wrote a long time ago. This is just an example of how artists can take it even further, because I enjoyed so much making the music for it, and I enjoyed recording it, even though I'm not a voice actor, and I just had a great time. If you're a painter, maybe you can paint the background, maybe you can draw your own character. If you're a musician, you can imagine some kind of soundtrack going in the background. If you're a writer, you write a whole story for it. And I think the beauty of being an artist is that with these sort of psychological exercises that's gonna help anyone, artists can take it even further and still use that to grow as an artist. That's amazing. I love that. Thank you guys for making it till the end. If this video helped you, please let me know in the comments, click the like button, And if you like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed the letter. Oh, here you are. What are you doing alone in a place like this? Yeah, maybe this flower will cheer you up, or maybe it won't. What are we supposed to do about you, huh? Sitting by yourself in this lonely garden this late at night. But don't worry, you're not alone anymore. And I will stay here all night if I have to. Keep in mind, I'm not here to solve your situation. My role is to keep pushing you a little bit further each time, as gently as I can, and as much as I hate to see you like this. You know no one can heal your pain except by yourself. All I can do is offer my shoulder, my arms, and my voice. So, let's get started, shall we? Oh, we don't need to talk about that time with the pills, don't we? Oh, bugger, what a mess that was. But, look at you now. Actually, maybe don't take that literally. You're not looking too good with those red, wet eyes. Don't give me that look, you know what I mean. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's just start again, okay? You know, sometimes I feel like you want me to stay away from you. But you don't want me to disappear entirely. You want me to keep an eye on you from a distance. And I get that. But you also need to understand that I have to get up close, sit by your side, and lend you my ears, so you can at least whisper to me what has got you feeling so sad. What? Oh, you want my help? Well, that's new. It really took you a long time to ask, but of course, that's what I'm here for. And I certainly want to reinforce that. It's just, there's something I'd like to tell you first. I know I'm not the most experienced at helping. Please just let me continue, alright? I always meant good for you. And you have truly showed me what it's like to care about someone. I will always be grateful for that. But also, I'm so sorry. I know you resented me for a long time. I was pushing you out of your comfy zone. But we have come far, haven't we? I've walked every single step you've taken, ever since we were little kids. And I can't stop wondering how far you will go. But you know nothing lasts forever. So, my hope is that when I'm gone, and you're on your own for good, maybe, and just maybe, you will think about this flower, and that will cheer you up.